And we are live. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode or another podcast episode of episode 0. I believe this is our sixth edition, in addition to our podcast collection. I am your host for the evening, J. Hero Wright. I am writer and creator of Infinite the Journey, amongst many other stories, and you can find me on www.infinitethejourney.com. And we're going to move on to our next few panelists today. Warren.
Hello, everybody. I'm back again. Creator of the Humble Comic Death Star. You can find me on Facebook at The Road to PDS or to Past It, however you fancy.
And we're going to move on to Antonio.
Hey, yo, what's up, guys? It's me. You can find some of my art. You just have to Google Senor Antonio, and you'll find all the places where I post my art and whatnot. And in the future, I'll be bringing you the great game-inspired manga that I'll be working on. So, yeah, look forward for that.
Thank you, Tony. We're going to be moving on to Joshua.
Hey guys, name's Joshua. I don't have anything under my belt right now, but you can find me currently on Instagram.com/Joshua. I'll put the link right there.
Thank you, Josh. And then we're going to move on to Sexual Chocolate.
First of all, I think it's pretty amazing that Joshua's Instagram name is just Joshua. Like, he doesn't have, like, Joshua 9.2 /_. Like, how were you able to find that? Like you must have been the first one to sign up on the Instagram account.
It's actually been Joshua13 up until, like, a month ago.
You been, like, checking on it to see if Joshua was available?
Yeah,
just
hunting it down.
That's pretty awesome. But anyway, yeah, it's Sexual Chocolate, a.k.a. Cameron Knight. And, yeah, man, pretty exciting news. Just dropped my first called Base. You can check it out on Tapastic. And I hope you like it. Subscribe.
And you can actually see the image there on my screen if it's up there. And there it is. That is the cover for Chapter 1. Press play. A lot of hard work went into that one.
Yep. Let me tell you. 3 minutes more.
This is going to be much of a freestyle night because we kind of caught ourselves off guard without a schedule. But I guess I'll just start it off with the light introduction of that. Joshua should stop moving around papers. Infinite the Journey is going through its first Kickstarter right now, which you see on the screen as well. So if you guys get a chance to check that out, type in Infinite the Journey on Kickstarter, and then as was just announced, Base has just been released. We are currently waiting on another release for the Humble webcomic Death Star whenever that is done, because we're going to be waiting on the anticipated release of Chapter 5. If you guys have not read that, please check it out. So are we going to move into the discussion about the characters inspiring the whole theme of the story, which actually contributes to the other parts of the story, or you want to go into something else?
Hey, you're the leader, man.
Okay, it looks like we're going to go into that. Well, I'll just throw it out there that there were a couple of stories that I have been working on personally over the last month or so, and one in particular I had trouble with writing the story, and even pitching the story to my fellow podcasters here, it ended up bringing me into a rut, I guess you would say. I didn't know what to do and where to go. But so I took a step back from the story aspect, and I actually took time to look into the characters. I tried to develop reasons on why they would even be involved in the story, why they would even go forth with the story or do anything like that. And once I actually nailed that down to where I kind of was convinced by the characters themselves, I developed a backstory, which I took that backstory and used as reference to implement into the story. And that's where the story actually started to blossom and grow. So I thought it was pretty cool that you actually can have a character-driven concept that can turn the story into something versus just having a concept and then having weaker characters.
That was the approach. That's the approach you said you took with Infinite.
No, that's the approach I took with the Unsung project.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
What is that project about? If you want to give a little synopsis or teaser.
It boils down to a question that if somebody was to ask themselves, you kind of see these movies like 2012, or you see the new one like San Andreas. You see all of these things, and it's always with the real person in the real situation, and they have to find a way to overcome this cataclysmic odds. So my thought was, what if that was the same? What if it was the same scenario, but there were there were people on Earth that could stop it with powers, but they also were up against the time. You know, like what if you had the power to stop the cataclysmic events from happening to Earth, but you also were against the time limit to get strong enough to do so.
Ah, I see. That's kind of
Instead of just
okay.
automatically being, oh, I'm Mr. Superhero, I'm gonna stop it. It's like, no, you actually have a time frame to become good enough to stop it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Because it's a race against time, but then it's also a cataclysmic event. So that was something that I thought would be pretty interesting for me to do because of the um, topics that I want to cover in that story. So.
Hey,
Nice.
I'm interested to know what problems were you having that you found this new technique out.
Oh, to make the story, because basically what happened was I found myself relying on the concept, and I've met a lot of great stories that have really great concepts, but everything else is missing. You know, like even some of the most famous indie webcomic manga out there that are, some of the better deals out there in the world, they have very great concepts, but they don't have great characters. And the characters are what are the true foundation and base of the story because that's why you come back. You don't come back to say, nobody came back to say, I want to see Harry Potter ride a broom around playing Quidditch. It was the fact that they liked Harry Potter or Hermione or whomever else was in the story. That's what they came back for, and that's why J.K. Rowling did what she did. You think about any story, you don't think
Mm-hmm.
back to a concept, you think back to the characters. So
Yeah,
it's like
the
I
overall
got away
story.
from that. Yeah, I got away from that, and I didn't really think about that. And that's just one of the things that I started growing as a writer with is that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it really does start with the characters because all that other stuff can come easy. Developing the setting, the time, the world, the powers, whatever you want to do. But what's really unique is the characters and the situations you put them through. And what really inspired me was watching Spider-Man earlier today at work. Um, Here you have Spider-Man in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and him as a character is great and all, but he had up to 5 to 6 different obstacles in one movie to overcome, and some of them were, and like 5 of them were personal, and then one of them was half personal but half how am I going to defeat this person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's what gives the story depth,
Yeah.
not adding in. Oh well, by the way, here's this fantastic world that I'm going to tell you about, and it's going to have all these lures and spells and ghost places and all of that stuff, and you're not even going to hear anything about half of it.
Nice.
That that is so true for the fact that the best-selling Spider-Man movie is Spider-Man 2, and it's the one with the most depth. They put more emphasis on the characters than the action.
Is that that's the one the one that recently came out, right?
No, I apologize. The one he fought Doctor Octopus, the original.
Well, yeah, that
Tobey
one
Oh,
had
that
yes,
one, man,
absolutely.
that was one of my favorite ones, hands down.
Yeah. When
Oh
he
heck
stopped
yeah.
the
I don't even
train.
know if they made another one after that.
Especially it was so cool, like within the like how he lost his powers, like that was so dope. And
Yeah.
like not well, I mean not lost them, but they kind of like went in the I guess whatever. I guess yeah they did kind of go away, didn't they? In the movie
I honestly don't remember the movie that
or like
well.
They went away because he felt like they were a burden to him because he was missing all of Mary Jane's plays and everything, and
yeah,
just
and
yeah,
kind of he had to like pretty much like I guess accept who he was really.
yeah. One good thing about that movie was freaking. I found out how powerful Spider-Man is. Apparently, can stop a train. I was like, oh, that's new.
Oh no, that took a lot of effort. I mean, that wasn't even power. That was strategy.
But for real, seriously, that wasn't power of them. My dog had to, he I think he webbed on like 8 different buildings.
That property
He
damage.
did, he did.
He did a lot of property damage. A lot of
Not more
taxpayers'
than
dollars.
Avengers, not more than Superman, but we'll leave it at that.
No, no, man, I think Avengers did more, man. They literally destroyed New York, man. Them cats was rebuilding for years, man. But
But yeah,
um, I actually wanted, yeah, I did actually wanted to, ask everybody that even, Tony and Warren, because since I'm kind of just, I'm starting on my own, like a, comic journey, and one thing I definitely do want to make sure that I do within base is make sure that obviously the concept's cool, the characters look cool, but I do want the characters to be to have strong personalities and be stand out, similar to what Jay was saying. So with Warren, what is something when you attacked Death Star, when it came to character development and making sure the characters were alive and going along with Jay said, what are techniques and things that you kind of thought about when you write them or go about putting them in your story or whatever?
I think I said this way back into the old days, around way before I first met you in that group we were all in. And it was just, I think I wrote a post about you pretend you're in a room with your character and you're having a conversation with them and seeing how long that conversation between you two would last. If you talk to between you and a villain who's just, I'm straight evil, I want to rule the world. Why? I want to rule the world. I want to rule the world. It'd be like that for 5 minutes straight, rather than, I never really thought about that. Maybe I was abused by my father, just wanted him to approve of me, and then you keep going and going and going. And I just talk to my characters like that, and yes, call me crazy,
So it's
obviously.
kind of like you're like the character's therapist.
Yeah, and it's just, and I look at these characters, I think I said before, it's just like, when I look at them, I'm like, okay, why are you wearing this? Why are you acting like this? Why do you have that expression on your face? And it's just like, you constantly just ask yourself questions, honestly. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
Yep,
That's
just
cool.
have fun.
What about you, Tony? When you're attacking, like what you're working on your comic, like developing the characters. What are some things that you keep in mind or you try to think about?
Am I can't really talk that well because I pay attention to other people's comic book, and that I like personally is when a character interacts with the world or the world interacts with the character. Because a lot of these stories that I read, the character is basically walking around and nothing affects them. They're like in their own little island. Like no one talks to them. In school, they're not like everyone's doing papers and whatnot, and nothing hits them. No of the students talk to them, and that's something that
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this isn't realistic. I don't feel like this is realistic. Yeah, so that's something that I really it gives a lot of life, and it's something that I'm
Mm-hmm.
greatly mindful of. That's really
Definitely.
my answer to that question.
And what about you, Josh? I mean, like, obviously, I know you're a writer, so like, what are some things that you personally like when reading reading different comics or even writing your own stuff when it comes to characters?
I really like it when there's a large variety of characters, but they're still somewhat realistic, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you have these large groupings of characters, it's easy to make a lot of them really similar. Like I read a lot of Teen Titans and Justice League and stories like that, and so it's really hard, especially in a superhero story where everyone's got the powers only go so far. It's hard to be original. It really helps the characters stand out and make the story come more alive when the characters are not generic, when they're not, they're varied, they have depth. Things just like weird personality traits and quirks. And it can just be as simple as like a character trait that I've added in someone is a joke is that, like for instance, like we'll take Edward Elric. He doesn't like milk. That's not a big deal, but that does add some depth to his character, and it even adds some just like content at certain points of the story of, oh, he doesn't like milk, so there's a bit of a joke there.
Yeah, it humanizes them, makes them feel like more regular, more real. Not just
Exactly.
like this superhero, superpowered person that we know could never exist in the world. But there are plenty of people in the world that just don't like milk, and that's just something simple, but it makes them relatable.
Yeah, exactly. It's he doesn't have to like everything. He's this good guy, but he doesn't have to like everything. And it's just having these personality traits, I think, really helps characters stand out to me in these worlds. And there's like connecting them to the world, like Tony said, where they're just disconnected and there's things going on all around them, but they still remain unaffected to a degree and emotionless sometimes even.
Yeah, I feel you.
So Cameron, I got a question for you though. What was your goal with Sean when creating Base, if you don't mind talking about it?
My goal with Sean, like overall, or just like when I'm like creating him, like what did I want, like the type of stuff I wanted to bring out about him?
Yeah, like what personality did you want him to have?
Oh, okay, definitely. I wanted to establish at the beginning quick is a sense of being like kind of like going through the motions is being lost. That's why I kind of, in the beginning of the comic and mostly throughout the comic, he kind of has this like real like um, lackadaisical kind of look on his face, just real, I guess, chill and kind of just going through the motions. Because right now at this point, he really doesn't have I mean, he has a passion, which is music. He likes music, but he doesn't really know what to do with it. He's kind of just coasting right now. Doesn't really know what to do. Feel like a sense of being lost. So I kind of wanted him to definitely have that. And as I go further in the chapters that he kind of finds more and more of like the path that he wants to go on. So
Cool.
Hey, I have another question about bass. Bass is heavily influenced by music. Did you do any research on anything when you made bass?
oh heck yeah, yeah. Not a whole lot, but I definitely wanted to like obviously know what exactly bass is and when it comes to just it's not even really just music. That's just really just sound in general. Bass is the low ending part of sound. That's not like something specifically in music, a music genre. No, bass is in every music genre, and that's kind of like the idea behind it was that as I go forward within it is that there's going to be different characters who are their powers generate from different musical genres, and since Sean is just called bass, his is kind of just a fundamental element of all of them. Um,
Oh, snap.
So he's not really set in one specific genre like other characters are. His is kind of in every single one of those genres. He has a little piece in every single one of them.
Oh wow.
Do
So
you
go
is
ahead.
do you think actually researching these things affected your story or made
Hell
it
yeah,
better?
most definitely, most definitely. I think
How
to a
important
degree.
how important do you think it was to your story actually researching it?
I mean, I think it's cool that it was important obviously to be creative and just have fun and not and go push the envelope and I guess do what kind of do whatever I wanted. But to a degree, I think by combining that with actually real elements that people can really relate to and go, oh man, he got that from this, or oh man, he got that from that, and then they kind of see your spin on it, then they're going like, wow, that's pretty clever. I like this. And that was just kind of like, I think that's the reason why doing research is important to a degree.
Oh,
So
snap.
helped me out a lot. I'm still doing research now, even with characters I'm coming up with in the future and plot twists and points and stuff. So I do a little research here and there. Actually, I actually wanted to ask Jay that, with Infinite, like, did you do any research, even with, like, just for like the setting of it and creating these crazy environments and like their clothes and even their names?
Ye- Um, yes, yes, I did. What I for like the environment and stuff, type in, I typed in the places that inspired me and Vision on
Mm-hmm.
Google, and then from there I would type in landscapes or something like that on DeviantArt, and then I would just click through pages upon pages till I found different things, different settings, different scenery pieces that kind of linked with my vision in my head, and then I'd try to put them together
Yeah.
and then that's what I would have for the setting. But as far as the world, I funny thing about that is I kept trying to say I wanted to be a big world. I wanted to be a big land, big piece of land, a different continent and stuff like that. And I was actually at one point where Infinite was going to have where each of the realms were going to be their own planet. Believe it or not.
That'd been kind of dope, actually.
It,
That'd been
it
pretty
would have
sweet.
been, but it would have taken away from the journey aspect because then I would have had to find a way to give the characters interstellar transportation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to take away from the actual journey, so I'm kind of having them go on the traditional uh, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings journey where they're by foot or whatever, whatnot. So that way you kind of get the essence of togetherness or whatever because they have to bond. But as far as outfits, yeah, outfits. I did tons of research on different armor types, outfit types, clothing types, because every one of them come from different places. So I had to do that because I wanted to try to give myself a. I wanted to give each place its own distinct feel,
Mm,
and its own distinct look, but you really won't see that till you actually see them go to the realms. But you kind of get the idea because you see these different guardians and they're all dressed differently. So
yeah,
I'm kind of giving you a sample, but you really won't get that feel till you see the actual world of Zoria. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Hmm.
Mm. What about you, Warren? When that started, did you? I mean, did you just kind of like, hey man, it's whatever, we'll go crazy, or did you do like some research with like developing your characters, developing your names, any of that?
Um, well, I wouldn't call it research. It just accumulated stuff from all my inspirations and whatnot. Just combine it all into one package. That's all I do.
Okay, nice, nice, nice.
I wanted to, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
I wanted to say really quickly, something I've been reading lately is Batman currently, and it's in the Endgame current story arc. It's issue 38 is the most recent one I read. And something that really stands out in this Batman universe to me in the Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo storyline is that they put a big emphasis on what Batman is thinking. In all the stories, it's always most of the dialogue comes from Batman narrating himself, and it's like, all right, this happened. This reminds me of this. You know, and you see the clues of the detective, and it's all going through his head. And I think that really helps Batman. I was gonna say that like as a Batman character, as a Batman story, that really helped. I think it helps it stand out because usually we deal with what we've been seeing a lot lately is the Batman from the movies, where he's this harsh, brooding figure, more about action than detective work. And I think it adds a whole new depth of feel to the character.
Oh, okay,
Sorry
nice.
about that tangent.
Oh no, 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 man. It's all good. It's all
So it has like a noir feel to it.
good.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's actually a good way of putting it. Is noir is like there's like a scene in this one. And I'll spoil a bit if you guys don't mind. I'm not gonna like give you any serious spoilers, but Batman's thinking about dying, and he goes through like he plays all his memories about dying, basically, kind of in his head quickly, and it takes place during an action scene, but it's not. It takes the emphasis off the action and more of how Batman's feeling in that situation, how he is dealing with the fact that he thinks he might die, if that makes sense. So yeah, it adds a bit of a noir feeling to it.
At least now I understand why that Batman run is actually doing so good. That
Mhm.
actually sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it's like super popular right now. I would
Oh,
recommend it to anyone who wants to read it.
man, let me check it out. I really do need to read more Western stuff. Like I've gotten away from that.
Another thing I was going to bring up too is that is something that I think a lot of in the webcomic scene, it's more than it should be that are actually inspired by what they read online. And if you think about it, as hard as it is to say, it's a lot easier to find manga online to read without having to pay any services than it is for Western comics, because those I've seen people that have had to go through torrenting to get those versus
Oh
being able
yeah,
to find them
oh yeah,
online.
most
So
definitely.
I think that a lot of the webcomic scene right now, it's either you're doing a gag a day comic that is relatable to realistic terms, or you find yourself going after what you've been watching and what you've been reading online. But what it really boils down to, if you think about it, there hasn't been that in the last what I would say 5 years. There hasn't been a real strong movement in the Western animation market for stuff that would really push people to be to mimic themselves or follow a formula that worked. The only thing that we could say came out of the West that was anything of any strength of it was Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, it's like everything else has come as a manga. You've got Kill la Kill, Attack on Titan. You
Yeah.
had freaking Sword Art Online was a big phase. Everybody was going to cons dressed up as Kirito or Kirito,
Mm-hmm.
however you say his name. Then everybody showed up dressed as the hunters from Attack on Titan. But you haven't seen, and then you had everybody before that dressing up as Ong. No, I'm joking. As Aang or Katara or Sokka. You know, and it
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
that's nothing. But and that really goes back to what one of the rising people on the internet with their own comic and stuff. LaShawn Thomas has been saying that there aren't enough Western people pushing forward to create their own brands, their own stories. Everybody's trying to piggyback off of other people's success. So then in the West, we're left with, the
The
very few
man.
people that are trying to do something.
Yeah, that man, like that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. That's crazy. Yeah.
No,
Wait,
that's
so
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's a good point.
Yeah. So you're saying like if more people over here were to create, their own stories similar to like, Last Airbender and like I guess stuff like that, then those like I guess those stories would be more popular versus like I don't know like
It's
DC
just
like
like
Marvel
we
stuff
as
like that.
a it's just like as many people online in the western side of the world right now that are trying to do their attempts at the webcomic scene, I will say, is they're
Mm-hmm.
more Japanese manga inspired or anime inspired. You can tell that they are. Versus the actual indie comic scene is where you have these people that worked for all these professional companies that paid their dues, and now they've taken their step back to do their own thing, and they want
Mm-hmm.
to get their pay. They want to get paid for it. So the way I see it is that why is the West? Why are so many people in the West trying to go and do what they're doing in the Far East versus doing what they're actually doing in the West? We personally, all of us in here, don't know that many people that are trying to submit to Comixology or to Image or to Dark Horse or to anybody that's in the West. It's all of, I want to get my manga brought up through the world and
Mm-hmm.
go there. When actually people in Japan frown upon us for making manga in the first place, unless you're traditional. Like Warren
Yeah,
would probably be the only one that'd get a free pass in Japan.
yeah, definitely.
But
Yeah, go ahead,
yeah,
man.
I really think that it's that Western comics. I think Tony and I were talking about before. Actually, I think we all did. That Western comics have been getting a negative connotation, or for a lot of people in the webcomics, they're like, oh, it's just Batman and Superman. And I used to be on that bandwagon for a bit too. I'm like, oh, it's only DC and Marvel. And like glimpsing at these early in my teenage years, I'm like, oh, this is boring. But then when I got into it, and then as of recent, reading Saga, Miss Marvel, Miles Morales, I'm just like, wow, these aren't as over the top as manga, like freaking Goofy and whatnot, but it's just it has most of them have a lot of depth to them, and they're very fun reads. So if a
Mm,
lot more people just gave a lot more mediums a chance, I think we'd get a lot more people inspired off of that.
yeah.
But yeah, it
So
is.
I'm just trying to understand like everybody's point. So like, are you saying that like if more people were to say like, all right, hey, I'm gonna create something, but I want to keep it here and like over here in the West, that I guess that scene would become a lot more popular versus like, oh, I'm gonna create this manga, and I'm gonna take it over, and try to get it published through like Japan or something like that.
And yeah, because you think about it, LaShawn Thomas, he did it. He went
Yeah,
over to Korea.
but can
He
yeah,
went
yeah.
over into the stores, and nothing came out of it. I mean, we all know of one of the premier people from Ink Blazers that actually lives in Japan that talks about the hardship that they had to go through and not being accepted, and they had to force themselves to go to the webcomic scene just to be even heard or noticed.
Hmm.
And people hit that stream and they don't even realize that it's a lot tougher than you think. When in the West right now is not, it's not booming per se, but in the top 10 of most sold, Image Comics had like 7 spots, and two of their comics are being made in the TV shows. We talked about this last time, but it's like, pay attention, open your eyes and listen and look. It took One Punch Man, which is a manga, by the way, it took it to sell over 40 million copies for it to get turned into an anime.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks. But I think like you said, we see these things, they get attached to them, and like, oh man, I can do that. But to actually really see how hard it is, like I remember, what's that dude's? I think it's, yeah, Felipe Smith, I think his name is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a YouTube video and he was talking about it. How like, man, he's like, man, be prepared. He's like, man, you come over here, you try to be a mangaka, man, you are going to draw all day. long, and it's like stupid deadlines. Like, you know, like kids here complain like, oh man, I gotta do 7 chapters. Like, no, man, over there it is ridiculous. Like I forgot. Like he mentioned like the quota he has to make, you know, every week, and it was ridiculous. I think it was like 20 some odd pages or 15 some odd pages or something like that. It was crazy. He was like, man, be prepared. You're not gonna see the sun.
Oh yeah, no, they have like 2 hours of sleep, an hour of sleep, 3 hours of sleep. They said it's even more of a brutal standpoint for Japanese animators.
Yeah, we're freaking in betweeners.
And yeah, in general, like the big ones who get the most money are people like Hayao Miyazaki and the people who directed it. In-betweeners don't get anything. Yeah, it's hard life, man, if you want to be an artist. Not as romantic as many people say.
Kind of backpacking on this conversation. I may not be able to articulate this well, but I kind of laugh that a lot of people that love manga and anime, they see like all these Western comics as in like really bad or generic, and they just have a core idea of it because they don't read comic books, they don't buy comic books, so how do they know if it sucks generic or what they think is actually right when they only like whatever is popular at the moment. And right now, anime is popular. You have Naruto, all this other stuff. But in my generation, when I was growing up, we had Static Shock, we had X-Men, we had like Batman, and those were awesome. And we were like fanboying the same way that people fanboy for Naruto. And
Oh yeah,
I just think it's the generation. And right now, Western comic books and stuff like that, it's just not hot. It's not popular. That's why.
It's not that hotness, Tony.
Yeah, it's not that hot, but it doesn't mean that it's bad.
No, not by any means, man. Like I really like. I just for me, it's just because I just honestly haven't been buying them like I used to. But I used to. Yeah, that's all I knew. Like I really wasn't into the manga world or manga scene. Like only really mangas I really paid attention to like that were it was like Dragon Ball Z. That's all really I know. But everything else was straight Batman, Superman, Marvel, DC, all those cool like comics, which I didn't really follow the storylines. I would just grab them from people I knew, grab them from my brother. But that's all I knew, and that's all I was into.
And okay, if you do a Western comic book one, like I Zombie, Buffy, like a whole bunch of shows.
Which just got turned into a TV show.
Yep, like Western comic books actually has a place. Like it could go to a TV show, it could go to a movie. You could do a really nice career and get your dream across by just focusing on here, not in Japan.
Yeah.
If you're kind of limiting yourself, or you just want to be in those Japanese magazines and it's just an anime and whatnot, well, can you be an anime movie like Batman or Attack on Arkham and stuff like that? Like it is possible, and that's it.
Man.
And another thing too. A lot of people really have downplayed Western comics, but they have not, like Tony just mentioned, they have not even checked out some of the Western animated movies, like the Justice League movies. If they were to actually bring those into live action, oh my!
Bro, could you imagine Flashpoint Paradox being a movie?
Dude, oh my God, that would break the internet. That would break the internet.
Because like, especially if they did it like outright, like it was like, say it didn't go from being an animated movie to a movie, like that's how like it premiered in a movie theater. Do you know how people in America would have reacted to that twist with Bruce?
Yes, I flipped out. I didn't know what to do.
Oh, I paused it.
If you have not seen it, I highly recommend whomever graces this video check it out. It is worth the time.
I watched it twice.
Justice League War.
Oh my goodness.
Bruh.
Yo, Attack on Arkham, man. That was bad.
I did not see that.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet.
And I laugh because Jay's like, I have not seen Attack on Titan, but yesterday he was singing Final Fantasy. I miss children, man.
Yeah. I guess it will be a memory.
Wait, hold up. Jay, that was your first time seeing that movie?
No, man, I own that.
Oh, I'm like, what the heck? No, come on now.
Who do you think I am, Michael or Eli?
Let him know. Yo, hey, man, I gotta ask him, man. I hope he watched freaking Sort of the Stranger, man. I'm gonna be really upset with him if he didn't.
Oh no 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 no.
I think that's why he's not here.
That's why he's like, oh crap, they're gonna quiz me. Oh, choose.
Okay, so I have to go. My sister just texted me, and it's an emergency, so we can either wrap it up or you guys can finish it.
No, man. Hey, man, take care, man. Well,
Yeah, take care of it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hey, see you, Jay.
See you guys. Thanks for joining into the podcast. This is Jay Hero Right signing off. If you want to know where to find me, just look at the intro of the video again. I have to go. Good night, guys.
all right.
Hey, see you, man.
All right, so I'm gonna bring up
Now we
the.
can talk crap about Jay.
All right, now he's gone. All right, now let's execute Plan Z. So I heard you guys were like fanboying about what were y'all talking about? Gurren Lagann? What was it for? Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist. All right, I wanted to catch up on this conversation. What was talked about? What was said?
I think that conversation is too long, man. I think we should just open a brand new conversation. Everyone should say their favorite anime in one aspect of it that makes it your favorite anime.
Okay, all-time faves. All right, man. Okay, it's gonna take a while.
I already got mine. I've thought about this long and hard.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Okay, all-time favorites is a balance between Ga-Rei and Tokyo ESP both by Hajime Sagawa. I really like
I'm
Tokyo
sorry, I never heard of Bagare. Could you go into it a little bit?
I say, man.
Ga-Rei. It's kind of like it's like a supernatural story, and it takes place after there's an anime that acts as a prequel to it. But in the story, it's like there's this kid, well, he's a high schooler, and he can see the dead. Big shocker. But he sees also not just the dead, like weird creatures, and he ends up getting caught up with this organization that prevents these demons and these ghosts from slowly going crazy and basically destroying the world. But it's not really just themed in the supernatural. It's a big aspect of it. But I like it because it's not just supernatural based. Like there's a lot of different characters. There's gangs involved. There's a lot of all these different things. And the point of the story is they're looking for these different shards of this crystal that summons this gigantic raging monster, and they're trying to prevent it from coming and destroying Tokyo.
All right. What do you like about it?
I really like the characters in it, and it's funny. Like I really like Hajime Sagawa's sense of humor, so that helps. But I really like the characters in Ga-Rei. It's very, I don't know, it just feels natural to me, and as natural as a manga can feel. But it feels really kind of natural. It feels really just like these are two people, these are two characters that are really interacting well, and the characters around them interact well with the characters that are in the story. It's just a really well-made character setting, I think.
Cut us a sample of one of those dialogues that you like so much.
It's funny, like when they first meet, it's kind of like the girl. The main characters are a girl and a guy, and the girl who has been hunting these monsters for a long time specifically because she has a personal interest in destroying the monsters, and the guy, naturally being a guy, is very bullheaded, and he's like, "What the heck are you doing?" Like he's like, "You're gonna get yourself killed," and he intervenes to try to help her. She's about to die, and he says some stupid things. And one thing I really like about it is he's consistently saying stupid things, which is something I'm always doing.
What?
And it's just situational discussions like that. Like he intervenes and he says something stupid. She gets mad at him, and personally, to me, it reminds me a lot of me and my girlfriend's relationship because I'll say something stupid, she'll get somewhat kind of annoyed with me, but we're still together.
All right.
Yeah, maybe not after this podcast.
Maybe don't want.
I guess you guys will be.
Yo, what about you, Warren?
Well, my tops, sectioning off, because I remember we talked about our top 10s. I'll talk about two of them. Dragon Ball Z's like up there. It has a special place in my heart. Followed by that, it's probably Gurren Lagann, Full Metal Alchemist, and Samurai Champloo. Let's see.
Pick one and tell me what you like about it.
Yeah. Okay, Dragon Ball Z, for example. what I like about it is
Yeah, yeah. Hit me with that.
the
Good.
classic, sense of build up to when like, all right, I'm gonna absorb all the androids, get my perfect form, and then classic Dragon Ball Z end of the saga battle. And then the build up is like, all right, how is Goku gonna fight this guy or whatnot, or how is it gonna be how is it gonna conclude and everything. And it's just the dialogue, the speeches, like when Goku just freaking gives his ally to good, nightmare to you speech to Frieza, and the smoke's behind him, and his eyes are staring right into Frieza. It's like it was some very powerful stuff when I was growing up, and it really stayed with me. And yeah, that's what I like about it.
Are you looking forward to Forever Z? Not
No,
Forever Z. What is it? What's the new Dragon Ball movie?
Battle of Z.
I
Yeah, Battle of Z.
Battle of Z. You mean Resurrection of F?
I, I don't know
Guys,
what I'm
come on.
talking about here.
We already lost 2 imaginary subscribers.
ABC.
Can I get an F?
But are you looking forward to it or not, man?
I'm holding my breath.
Hold it. So you're winning. You're deeply anticipating it.
Oh wait, I'm not holding my breath. There you go. That's our term.
There you go, Warren. You got it.
Yo, what about you, Cameron?
Um, hmm,
Drop that bass, man.
no trouble. Let's see.
No trouble.
He makes the joke and he gets laughter. I make the joke, Tony. You tell me to go piss off. I get it.
Yeah, pretty much, because I'm black.
Yeah.
All-time favorite.
It doesn't have to be your all-time favorite. Just pick one of your favorites.
Oh, one. Oh, I don't want to say Dragon Ball Z because one, so that. But I'm gonna go with Samurai Champloo. Then
Why is it that you like
it
it
was
so much?
just, it was just such a cool story. Like I don't know, man. It was a journey that kept. Well, for one, I have a very like bad attention span. So like when it comes to like shows and mangas, like I get hyped for one, and I binge on it for like a day, couple days. By that third day, like I'm like gone. Like even Gurren Lagann, I still haven't finished it. Like it's great, but I get caught up on something else. I always come back to it. Samurai Champloo was one of the first ones. Like I watched the entire thing like twice. Like I don't know, man. Something about it, like the way they took. I think it was from just the soundtrack to the character development, just the not. I don't know, man. I can't even like really describe it. Like it was just awesome.
It's the
Like,
aesthetic of it.
yeah, I don't know, man. It was just cool. There was certain like moments where like there wasn't even sound. Like I mean, there wasn't even like dialogue. It was just kind of like the music playing and like the scenery and like. I remember one specific episode when Gene he fell in love with that blind chick. I think. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, Sarah.
Yeah, like I love
The
that
Blind
episode.
Assassin.
The blind assassin. Yeah, that episode was so dope to me. That one. I remember when Mugen found that one ninja chick and went on that police like I don't know like investigation mission with her or whatever.
So you could say that you like the storytelling of it.
Oh
How
yeah.
they. Who's your favorite character then?
In the story, Gene. If
Why
I
Jane versus everyone else?
um, Mugen was dope, but I didn't.
He's too crazy for you, man.
Yeah, he was a little bit
Too
too
hot?
crazy. Like, yeah, it's a little bit too crazy for me. I like Gene. I feel, I don't know. I feel like personally, I just connected to him more.
Alright.
What about you, Tony?
My favorite anime ever that changed my life and how I look at anime is Momito, and it's because simply the storytelling.
I have to
Storytelling
finish this,
just
bro. You keep talking. You always talk about it. But I have to
it,
finish
it,
this thing.
it changed my life. It changed my life. But it's simple. It's storytelling. So I would like to answer with another. Like my favorite series is Gundam and the original timeline Gundam, and I love the characters, how they're not perfect, how they're all broken characters, and just trying to go about it the best way they can.
I have
And
never. watched a Gundam all the way through. Oh, except G Gundam. My bad. Sorry. That's for me. The person. That's the best one. that
I,
one was awesome.
this may be a little bit long-winded, but I'll talk about Char Aznavour. In the first Gundam series, he's the main bad guy, and he's a bad guy to everyone because his family was. Oh, this is gonna be heavy spoiler. So, for like the first 5 minutes, you don't want to get spoiled. Just pass through it. But the first Gundam series, his parents were killed by this group and took his family name and started a war from it. And he was a child then. He grew up and went to the military to get the skills and the connections necessary to get his revenge versus everyone that, took away his family. So and by coincidence, he became the rival for the Gundam pilot. And that's the only connection he has with the rival pilot. After finding over a girl and having her die over it, the series ended with them having a draw and him actually receiving revenge for his whole family. The second Gundam series, Zeta Gundam, he became the hero, the main hero. No, the hero, and he was training the main hero of that series. So basically, he went and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna better the world because of my sins and whatnot." And during the whole series, he actually met up again with the protagonist of the first series, and then both of them trained the new kid. And in the end of that, he was presumed dead, but he made it alive. Charge Counterattack is the next series after that. He found out that he tried so hard to help the world, help people, the people of Earth, but he realized that they'll use any excuse to start a war and start fighting. So he just went, "Oh, I'm gonna destroy the world. I'm gonna make everyone unlivable and have to go up in space." And that way, he'll stop all wars and fighting. And he was a bad guy for all that because he's trying to destroy the world. And his life was basically ended in that series. But then you have Gundam Unicorn that he came back as a ghost hunting this other guy and still trying to change the world and whatnot until he found peace. And I'm like, that character death and development, how they're good guys, bad guys, and they don't have a clear they they have a clear thing of what they want, but what they want doesn't really make them bad or make them into uh specific category of bad guy or good guy. They're just doing what they want, and I like that. And that's the whole like Gundam series. They're
Wow.
full of deep characters like that. Yeah, that's it.
I never really got into Gundam. I always, I'm gonna be honest. I always felt like they were always going, like it was always something with the government. Like, I don't know if that was true, man, but it just seemed like there was a lot of stories of government stuff, and I don't know. It just I
And
never.
you are right. It's not your cup of tea.
It's,
Gundam Fighter didn't have anything to do with the government, did it?
I don't know. I lost count. There's a lot of Gundams.
Well, there's the main story, then there's the side stories made for little kids and whatnot. They dumbed it down, but yeah, it's just not your type of tea. What's the next question? Or are we
What?
gonna close this out?
Um, yeah, I feel like we probably. I mean, how long have we been going?
About 40 minutes, 15 minutes.
40 minutes, 50 minutes.
Yo,
Oh,
I felt like Warren was gonna say something. Go ahead, man.
No, you said dumb down for little kids, and I was like, damn straight. And I love freaking G Gundam.
Warren knows.
I ate that stuff up like fresh porridge, man. That was amazing.
He said fresh porridge.
Yo,
Who
it's,
the heck says porridge? Like,
One, that's too white even for me.
I'm sorry, man. All right, it's
What do
not
you-
blinded to color. It's just, oh, that's serious. I would have. I think it has a secret spot on my top 10. It's just so good. The way Master Age is.
Oh, my bad. I forgot. Yeah, Samurai Champloo, Outlaw Star.
Wow, Outlaw Star.
Yeah, that man. When that junk came on Toonami, that was my first time getting it. Oh my god, that show was so awesome. That show
Hey,
was awesome.
hey, Josh, you as a new member, I'm curious. What are your favorite animes, or how much anime have you seen? Cause you're different. You actually like reading books and stuff like that. So.
Um, like my favorite manga anime, my first two, like I said, it's a balancing act between Gare and Tokyo ESP. I love Tokyo ESP, but there's like a point where they completely switch up the story and toss out the old characters and bring in new ones, which I don't like when stories do that at all.
Okay, but
Um,
are they actually anime or they're just mangas?
Tokyo ESP last year got turned into an anime, So you can go online and watch it. I think it's actually free on Hulu currently if you watch
Have you
it.
seen the anime then?
I watched some of it, yeah. If I remember correctly, it comes in at a point towards the end of the one of the first story arcs.
I don't know why, but I feel like Amit talked about this before. Like, I think he mentioned it. I have to check
It, it,
Tokyo Reviews.
it looks like something he'd aesthetically enjoy.
So what? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You were gonna say something.
What other anime have you seen?
Um, Third spot, partially because I love it, partially because it's nostalgic. Inuyasha. That was like my first anime. That was like the first thing I ever saw was Inuyasha, and like I remember waking up at like 3 in the morning, not being able to sleep, so I turned on the TV and Adult Swim was on, and I watched like 2 hours of Inuyasha, and like that was like the first time I was like, whoa, this is so freaking awesome.
I probably get shunned for saying this. Was not a big fan of it. I never really cared for Inuyasha at all, really. I don't know. I didn't really care for it at all.
Oh, Inuyasha.
Yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't.
It's one of those stories where it's very I guess polarizing.
Sense an Inuyasha talk going on.
Yeah, I want to talk about Inuyasha. I'm down.
But yeah, like I
It's
said,
cool though.
I think I talked to you guys about before. It's just Inuyasha is that thing where it's just an anime. It's not trying to be too deep or anything. It's just adventure as it is. Like, okay, Inuyasha like the girl, and you still can't look over his past. Like, okay, whatever. But it's classic.
It's something I never understood about Inuyasha is that Kagome's supposed to be the reincarnation of Kikyo, but how are they both alive? Because aren't they supposed to be the same person?
Next question.
Soul. So apparently, when she was reincarnated, Kikyo can't live off that soul when she was revived, so she has to steal other people's souls or borrow them, quote unquote.
Oh, I forgot that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
that's what she steals.
Period.
I mean, for as bad as Inuyasha was, it was also written in like the early '90s when manga and anime were still kind of coming into their own a little bit.
Hey, Warren, what was the first anime you ever seen?
I think it was Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was definitely the first one that I ever seen.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yo, Cameron.
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah. That was the first one that I went crazy over.
Yo,
Yeah,
the first anime I saw was Vampire Hunter D.
Oh man, no wonder you like.
From the olden days.
Well, what was yours? Joshua.
Oh, I said it, Inuyasha.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
Well, I get the controversy.
That wasn't your first one. Gosh, I'm so sorry.
Dang, bro. Like, that's all you were exposed to. No wonder you went there.
No wonder why you find everything generic.
Yo, wait, Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
Were you with your girlfriend? Were you forced to see it, or?
The more you watched it, the more she spread her legs slowly. You watched the whole season. What?
No, because I admit I grew up with Sailor Moon. I loved it and whatnot, but I was forced to see it because I have two sisters.
I never watched Sailor Moon.
I know, but Inuyasha is still a girly anime.
It's girly.
I mean, just the theme song, I would have changed the channel.
Like,
it's okay if you watched it, man. I understand.
No, I enjoyed it. Like, I mean, I watched it when I was really young, so.
No. But did you watch it alone, or did someone force you to watch it?
No, I watched it alone. See,
Okay.
I didn't come in the beginning. I came in around like the Band of Seven story arc.
Oh, okay.
So it was like
I still don't know. I have no idea who that is.
Karen's really lying. No, but I came into an episode where there was a bit more action and it was a bit more. It was after I kind of transitioned less from shoujo, I guess, into a more shonen.
Yo, okay. I started seeing Inuyasha, but then when she's like, "Sit boy," Inuyasha like fell down. I changed the channel, and it's been 2 years since I seen it.
No, it's all good. Like I understand it. Like I said, it's very polarizing. You either like it or you hate it.
Yo, Warren, why do you like Kill la Kill so much? Cause
Okay, I'm just gonna answer that anyway for him. That's
Yeah, man.
we're
Yeah,
going into my world.
it started off as I was on a Facebook chat with my friends, and then my friend brought up like, "Yo, the people from Gurren Lagann made their own studio Trigger, and then they're gonna make this new series called Kill la Kill." I was like, "What's that?" And then I look at it, and they just show the silhouette of Ryuko with her glowing red eyes. Like, okay, scissor blades, take my money. So from that point on, for like a year straight until it came out, I refreshed my Tumblr page following them, looking for any update, and I did that for every day religiously. And I was like, "Oh, new Ryuko art." Now I'm done. I have to wait till
Hmm.
tomorrow. It was pretty depressing. And then when it eventually came out, I was just like already hyped, and did it meet my expectations? I don't think I cared. I just watched it,
Shit, met
pleasured
all
That is
myself accordingly, and
it
that
met,
that is
it met
cool
all
because I did
mine.
not know that.
yeah, man, like
You,
they,
you were a fan of it before it ever came out. That's legit like a new level fanboy that I have not experienced.
yeah,
I,
like the designs just really got me, and I was like, "Oh, Kill la Kill," and I had like this feeling. I was like, "Oh, girls fighting, I eat that stuff up."
oh,
That's
I knew it was gonna be amazing. I felt it in my soul.
Why do you like it so much, man?
It's right up my alley when it comes to just create. I like interesting characters and interesting character designs. Once the character design is awesome, like the whole scissor thing, that was so freaking dope, man. Like her and then like her shoes. I don't know. Her shoes to me reminded me of like high top Air Forces. Like I don't know, man. The whole outfit was dope, and I just kept looking at it. And then I saw the promo, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be watched as soon as it drops. And every episode to me was just like I was on it like every Thursday. My friend would like let me know because he didn't really. Garrett actually, yeah, he would let me know. He was like, "Hey man, Kill la Kill drop." I'm like, "All right, man. I'll talk to you later." And like, man, it's just every day, man. It was just, I don't know, it was a wild ride. Like, did it have like an amazing plot? I felt like it did, but to me personally, I just enjoyed the feeling it gave me, the ride, the whole like experience of it was what I liked about it.
I like Kill la Kill because it had a lot of deep meaning and it gave it to you in a fun, happy way and whatnot. Because the show really is a satire of life or explanation of life
Mhm.
tropes and whatnot. I mean that scene that she's in the bathroom and the guy takes her powers away from her, and
Oh yeah,
that was
she's
so
crying.
powerful. Yep.
Yeah, and
And
then
like
she's
it,
like
they
bawling.
and they draw the guy so much bigger than her, showing like the weakness of a girl and what they had to go through. Like it's stuff like that for the whole series that people don't pay attention to it, whatnot. But me as I just do, and I appreciate it. And the creative ways they could
Mhm.
draw that out there is awesome.
yeah, and like one thing I give Kill la Kill, it had amazing pacing. Like every episode was just rich, full of content, and it's just like you can always look back and there's little Easter eggs. Like I remember episode 2 or 3, and then just two cats were having sex on the rooftop, and I was like, wow,
I,
I love this.
I don't even remember
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yo,
Wow.
Joshua, have you seen it? Do you have anything to
Kill la
add?
Kill. I've seen like the first 2 episodes. Sorry guys, it didn't catch me.
It's
Oh
alright.
There you go.
man.
That's why you don't like
It,
Yo,
Minecraft.
hey, to the YouTube app.
he,
To the YouTube app.
I forgive him. I mean, his
I don't.
introduction to anime was
Inuyasha.
yeah. So if it's not Supergirl, he can forget.
Kagome's hair was just the right length. She just barely. If it was any shorter, I don't see any. I shouldn't grab me.
Yo, final question until we block out. If you guys could dress up cosplay as in any character, who would you cosplay as? And I give it to Cameron first, man.
Honestly,
Yeah, honestly,
um,
I
shit,
wasn't gonna
my
ask you.
own man.
Well, honestly, if you don't want to answer honestly, you could lie to us. It's alright.
All right, I'm gonna lie. No, I'm like, it would either be Corey Ray Lewis character Shark Knife or my own from Base. Man.
Why the one for Lois Lewis?
Corey Lewis.
Why,
That's
yeah,
one of my
why about
biggest
that character?
influences right now. That's one of my biggest influences. I like the way he writes. I like his storytelling. It's fun. It's a cool ride, but it also has like a really cool and deep story. And I really like the character design. I mean, it's pretty sweet. So and I think it's different too because I don't think a lot of people would be cosplaying is that because I could imagine it'd be pretty hard to put that together.
Well, what about you, Joshua?
One. Beast Boy, definitely.
Beast Boy?
Yeah.
Nice.
Favorite
Why
superhero.
That'd be sweet.
why Beast Boy? Because you're kawaii like him, or is there another reason?
No, I just really like Beast Boy. He's like my favorite. He is my favorite superhero.
What makes him your favorite superhero?
I like his personality and I like his superpower.
Okay. What about you, Warren?
Um, I always wanted to be either just a random ninja I made up or Spider-Man because
Random
Spider-Man
ninja.
gave confidence to skinny people like me under 140 pounds a chance to be heroic, and like I would run around and pretend to web sling and steal people's I mean nothing. Yeah, I love Spider-Man. Moving on.
If I could cosplay as anyone, it would be Alec Alric from Full Metal Alchemist,
Yeah.
and I love that character so much. What's so funny? I love that character so much that I basically cut off my leg so it'll be more natural and I could cosplay legitly.
Is it the right leg too?
You're 50% of the way there, Tony.
Yep.
All right, there goes your arm, boy.
I'm trying to build up the nerve, but yeah, like I'm a person that live with a lot of regret and has a lot of stuff put on top of me, and I just relate to that character, and I love that he grabs that regret and makes it to a force of power. It guides him and stuff like that. It's not really a negative aspect of his life, and that's why I like him so much, and I admire that character and how it's written, and I also believe the original is better than Brotherhood. All right, yo. So
All right.
we're done.
Yeah, man. Let's wrap it up, man.
All right,
Um,
everybody. All right,
actually,
I'm gonna wrap this out. All right.
Hey,
All right, boys.
real quick. Same thing we did last week. I just want to know, has anybody found, any, new comics or anything anybody's been reading, any new web comics anybody wants to shout out or think, or say that they've, been reading, discovered, or found the last week or so?
Hey, that was not part of the questionnaire, man. I was given.
Well, I'd like to drop a few names because we mentioned a few people today. Peepo Chew by Felipe Smith, or you can read his Run in Ghost Rider. I don't know how long that's still going on or whatnot.
Yo, is that good? The People Chew? I never
Yes.
read it.
Yes, it basically shuts down all weeaboos and say, look, all right, this is what Japan is really like. And
I have to check it out.
as for webcomics, of course, our humble base and infinites and Girls of the Wilds on online tunes.
That one's
Guy in
pretty
the blue
sweet.
chair.
That junk is pretty sweet.
Yeah, and yeah, that's all I got for now. I'll interrupt you rudely if I have any more.
Yo, mine was gonna be Girls of the Wilds, but it's been taken away from me, and yes, that's it.
No, I'll go ahead and drop Batman Endgame. The final part of that story is coming out next month or at the end of this month. One of the two.
Controversy. Ooh, can we talk about that really quick?
What, Batman?
The cover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that? I personally don't see the big hoopla about it, but I don't
What
understand.
are you guys talking about? I have no
Dude,
idea
the
what you're
cover
talking
Okay,
where the Joker has
the Batgirl,
about.
the
One at a
Batgirl
time.
thing?
One at a time.
The Batgirl thing is a cover of Joker, and he has like Batgirl like by the neck, and like he's pretty much like rubbing his like seems like lipstick across her face, and she's like,
There's actually controversy on that.
yeah, they're saying it's like, yeah, kind of like they're being insensitive to like rape and stuff.
Dude, is Joker. He'll do that at Batman. I mean, equal rights, man. Shit. That's it.
I love how people like 50 Shades of Grey is such a top-selling novel around this crap. Like, really?
That's what they do.
Like, you want the Joker to have a tea party with her on the cover? I think that'll bring some immersion right there.
Yeah,
I think people pick and choose what they want to be sensitive about.
Honestly, I would just say have a wraparound, child-friendly cover, so when a kid walks past the store, it's like, oh, okay, Joker's being a jerk. And then the real fans who buy it, they can get their actual covers. Like, yeah, this is what I want. And then that's it. You know.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it personally. I think it actually shows a lot of depth in the character of Batgirl, whereas a lot of people think it takes away from her. I think it adds a lot to her and shows like it's part of like as a superhero, what do you struggle with? You know, fighting the stronger enemy or your own personal ghosts.
Exactly.
I was
Hey,
thinking,
my thing is, this is actually something girls deal with every single day, and because Batgirl's gonna get up and beat the Joker's anyway. So this is actually gonna empower women and whatnot. Like just putting a blind eye to it isn't helping women's cause or um
all right, on that note.
We love you all, boys.
All right, this is, I guess, podcast episode 0. And we're gonna name this one random. This is gonna be just a crazy random episode. There was absolutely no schedule to this. This is who we are. Welcome, friends, to our imaginations and our worlds.
No, just a chill podcast on a Wednesday night, not a Tuesday.
Straight up. We're going
On a Tuesday.
Gonna go ahead and close out. My name is Joshua Harper. You can find me on Instagram.com/Joshua, and the link's right there in the chat.
Yo, my name is Antonio Delacruz. If you're interested in my artwork, you can just Google Senor Antonio and you'll be able to see my art. And later on, hopefully, I'll be able to show you this awesome project that I'm working on. But yeah, there's no due date on that yet.
All right, this is a big sexual chocolate, big daddy fat sex. What's playing now? It's Kimber Knight. And you can check out my new comic that has just dropped this week called Base. It is on Tapastic. And I hope you guys like it and subscribe, man. It's going to be some good stuff coming up.
Yep. And this is Warren Thompson signing off again. If you'd like to find Death Star, go past the corner, past other comics, down the dark alley, past the Joker raping Batgirl, and you'll find Death Star on the ground. Yeah, on Tapastic. And please follow me on the road to PDS on Facebook.
Yo,
Doesn't
there's
matter
a
if you do
difference
or don't.
between raping and molestation.
All right, let's.
All right, bye, guys.
Good for